Hi, everybody. It's me, Patricia Cori. I'm coming to you with a live Facebook moment of Zen. Hope everybody's doing well. I took the day off from all technology yesterday doing an experiment, which I wanted to come to you and talk about today. So if you're in my Facebook clan, you know that I was doing that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, so this is news to you, I wanted to see how exactly is this time slip thing? Are we confusing it with our addiction to computer and all the technology, and just generally check myself. So before I get started, let's see if there's anybody listening. There's nothing like talking it's already hard to talk into the screen with no response, but it's always good to see if there's anybody watching or listening. Please type in a hello so I know you're there. There you go. Of course, Karina, you would be the first one. Hiya. All right, so this is just ad lib here. I have nothing, well, I never do I? I'm always speaking from the heart. But it was a very profound thing I did yesterday. So, hi, Monica, love back to you. Okay, I think I'll just wait for a few people to come in before I get started. There she is in the background, Pepper. And she's like, no, not again. Thank you, Karina. I made it myself. I used to make jewelry and sell the jewelry with the Syrian seal. And some of them I just couldn't part with. I may do it again too because I really love doing it. I've got so many things I love doing, I'll tell you. Yesterday at midnight the day before, I unplugged everything. And I have to say that I'm very lax on shutting down completely with the router, because sometimes when I'm in bed, I don't have a television, so sometimes I enjoy watching some YouTube information in bed, and then I eventually fall asleep and I forget to get up and turn the router. So this was a total commitment to everything off. I don't have TV, as I was saying, so that's, at night I used to. I don't think I'll be doing it anymore. So the first thing I did was turn everything off, and I have to say I slept better than I have in a long time. But I want to preface this whole conversation by saying that just like the placebo effect in meds, everything is consciousness, everything is focus, everything is intent. So if you're determined that it's going to be better by nature of that commitment, that conscious commitment, it's already going to be better. This is my opinion. And so everything that I was doing yesterday was just checking my own focus, checking my addiction, checking a lot of stuff. And I'll tell you why. Back when I was with my ex, who I affectionately refer to as Brand X, we were drinking a lot of wine because it's just culture in Italy. You have wine with dinner. But suddenly I said to him, we're drinking a bottle of wine every day. And he said, what's wrong with that? I said, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure that's so good. It's one thing to have an accompaniment to the meal, but I don't want to have the wine. And he said, there's no problem. I said, well, then let's do a test. So we ran a test, and for 3-4 weeks, we didn't have any wine with the meal. There was no missing the wine. There was no saying, oh, come on, let's just have a glass. And so I said, okay, we're cool. There's no addiction here. But sometimes I think it's really important to check our addictions. And I truly believe that the software, the computer, what's being generated, the waves, the increasingly powerful frequencies that are coming in are all designed to be extremely addictive. And this is nothing new. And I've talked to this ad nauseum in the new book as well. But the best way to put it to practice is to check yourself. Diane says I only lasted a half a day. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up, sweetheart. Half a day is good. Because by not being able to make it the whole day, you realize, wait a minute, I think I'm addicted here. Or I might have some kind of a dependency. And for me, it was like, let's see what happens to me during the day. And I missed you guys because you're my family and I'm so used to checking in. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for coming on. I'm so used to checking in with everybody, and you're very important to me, all you beautiful people out there. You really are. You're my soul family. So I can't tell you how much I got done yesterday. And again, I want to emphasize that my objective was to see if time was somehow being sucked through the energy waves of the. I don't have a clear idea about what I'm talking about, but the image and the dream that I had was that everything was being magnetized into the computer, like, you know, like people with the, and everything sticking to them. It was like I was watching everything being slammed into the computer in the dream. Scissors, nail file, pen, shoom, shoom. And this is what prompted me. I thought, I wonder if I was being shown how this screen is magnetizing us, our energy into it. And not only that it's shooting out to us, but that it's pulling us in. And could it actually be affecting time? Not just because you're wasting time, but because somehow it's involved in the process of the time warp. Hi, I want to stop and say hello to everybody. Hi, Janice. Oh my God, yes, I'm live. I wasn't going to come on because I was feeling very chill, but I promised I would. So, hi, Isabella from England. Thanks for tuning in. So here's what happened. I got up in the morning and my commitment was, because already everything was turned off. And so automatically in the morning, my routine is, kitchen is downstairs. Okay. So I get up, I'm like this because I'm a coffee. My one addiction that I will never get up is coffee. It's my friend. So my routine in the morning is to get up. The dogs want to go out. We have a routine. They've got to go out and do PB. I turn on the computer and then I go down to the coffee station. Before I look at the computer, I just turn it on and then I go down and make the coffee. And then by the time I've done that, I come back, the dogs are ready to come back in, yada, yada. I sit at the computer and there go hours of my life. So I was thinking, are we really, it's like it's 8 o'clock and all of a sudden it's 11. Is that really time slipping? Or is it that we are so addicted to being glued to the set that we just really are losing time because our focus is off? And I think I've come to the decision, I think it's both. So I got up in the morning, and instead of the groggy feeling, I got up energized because I was looking forward to this experiment. And I got my coffee, and instead of coming to sit down at the computer, for a minute I was lost. Like, my pal, the computer, what am I going to do now? So I tore through the house. I scrubbed the bathroom. I cleaned the bedroom. I did hotel type white glove cleaning that I haven't done for a while. You know, the kind like at the top of the door frame or the top of the picture frames with a white glove type test. And I was just energized. I did the bedroom, the bathroom, the hall, the living room, the vacuum, washing. And when I finished that first cleaning extravaganza, it's only 10 o'clock. 1.5 hours. And I tore through the entire first floor. Didn't quite finish the office. And I kept looking at the clock going, it can't only be 10:30. So I had the reverse experience. Instead of it's already 10:30, I was like, it can't be only 10:30. Look at what I've done. Throughout the day, I monitored every 1 hour. I wrote down what I was doing. And lo and behold, it felt like the good old days before I started noticing time slipping. It wasn't until about 5:30 at night when I was so burned out because I was like just on adrenaline, cleaning, and walking the dogs and cooking, and it was just outrageous. And again, I was testing time, so I hope you get my drift. But what I was actually realizing was I was also testing my behavior, my focus, and my addiction, if there was in fact an addiction with this freaking technology. So at the end of the day, and it really was hard for me at the end of the day with my routine to turn on the computer and start hanging out on Facebook, whatever, I realized this is an addiction. I have to quell this addiction. I need more things accomplished in a day. And I do so much. I mean, give myself a break, right? I work really hard. I manage 2 dogs, this big house. It's a lot, but I still feel that a lot is getting lost in this computer. Let me see what Cynthia wrote. Saying here, looking for new info, there has to be a fork in the road where we start seeing action against the criminals. I can tell myself, chuck the phone. Yada, yada. Yeah, I am lucky that I am not addicted to the phone. I have absolutely resisted it from the get go. And when I got my first phone, I was annoyed by it. It was the old fashioned one. I was already annoyed. But I've got this antiquated, I think it's a 6 iPhone, which I have to have because I don't have a landline. So I have to have it, but I do not use it. And it kind of irks me because the plan is you pay so much a month and you get so many gigabytes or 4G or whatever, so much, and I never use it, but whatever. So I just wanted to report in that the idea that time is slipping is valid because I do really believe we're in the 4th dimension, or at least we're moving into it rapidly now. And so the mutation of time and some of those things that I've described to you, those events that I've had, are very real. But I want to warn you guys, or maybe warn is too strong a word. I'd love you to consider, like Diane said, I couldn't make it through the day. That's addiction. And it's not a judgment call because it's, when I stopped with my television, it was kind of, there's no noise in the house. It was strange having that buzz, that glare, that false sense of company gone, and this very silent space in its place. Well, what I've decided to do is this. I've decided that I'm going to set times. I'm going to be on the computer in the morning because I have a lot of important things that are going on. And right now I'm in that press campaign. So my publicist needs to be able to get a hold of me. But I'm going to unplug completely every day. I'm going to attempt to unplug every day at the lunch hour. See, now, I'm not trying to tell anybody to do this. I know a lot of people are working in offices. You can't do that. So I'm not working in an office, although I do work at home, but I can unplug for 4 hours. And that's my plan. I'm going to unplug from 12 to 4 every day. And like today, you know what I did? I took a nap. That was great. I took a nap. I'll be taking more naps because I've got to really charge my energy. You know, when you do a press campaign, the press requests, if it's going well, come in from all over the world. So I've got interviews at 3 in the morning and 8 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and it's really very difficult. So I need to get as much sleep as I can. So getting a nap in is a great idea. So that's the plan now. I'm going to unplug from 12 to 4 every day. And that's good enough. My attitude is, okay, if I feel that I'm addicted to the computer, I still want this computer because I really love you guys. I love the interaction that we have, and it's important to me. So what I'm going to do is just sort of wean myself off a little bit and give myself those 4 hours during the day. It's a sense of saying, no, you are really in control of this. You're not addicted. You're selective, and that's good. Linda says, think about the meaning of television. Break it down to television, and that is how the narrative is controlled. I know you already know this. Yes. They've been programming the populace since the invention of television back in 1953. Indeed. And if you've read Hacking the God Code, you will read about how they also put in a flicker deliberately designed into the computer back in 1983 that would create a hypnotic, or not necessarily a hypnotic state, but a submissive state to the mind, so that when you're in front of the television for a few seconds, this flicker all triggers this submissive state where you are more open to receiving the message, the program. Television is the reason. I'm going to make a big statement here, and I'm going to say television is the main reason why so many people are still, got to be careful on my wording, still loving the Jabberwocky and so programmed to believe the narrative because they're plugged into it 24 hours a day. It's always playing somewhere. If you're a television watcher, you're watching way too much of it. And even if it's in the background, it's just still going in, and people do not understand this. So television is the number one addiction, but, and it's also another time loser. You know, one really, it's amazing how much time we give to this equipment, and we don't really realize it until we try not to. So I highly recommend that you all try to do this. Do a test. It's not unlike going on a fast for a day. For me, I did that. I don't know if you remember, I did that 5-day fast. The first day was hell. The second day, I thought I was going to die. The third day, I was full of energy. Fourth, fifth day. It's just amazing how quickly you train yourself and overcome the lack. Diane says, we don't watch television. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I haven't had television program for 25 years, but I did have Netflix for when I first moved to the island. I did go ahead and get Netflix because I have a TV set, which I use to watch videos with. I have a collection of DVDs, call me antiquated. And I got Netflix, and I had it for about 7 months, and I said, this is ridiculous. So I am television free, Netflix free, pretty much cell phone free. The only time I have it in my hand is when I need to get a code for something that I'm negotiating on the internet, or when I take it out to the car for emergencies when I'm traveling. Rarely do I get phone calls because most of the stuff is messaging, unfortunately. We don't even talk anymore on the phone. So yeah, the question of time, I'm very focused on this at the moment because from back when the SIRIAN High Council were saying that we were going to the fourth dimension, and it's the dimension is without time. I was never really clear how this would work. And then more and more, I see how we're all complaining, or not even complaining, being mystified by how time is simply dissipating so rapidly, unnaturally. And I'm convinced that it's a mixture of both, and that very possibly, considering, you might think it's an awful off the wall theory, but then I'm off the wall, so all bets are on. It may very well be that part of the manipulation of time, just like they manipulated the hypnotic or submissive state when they put that flicker technology into the television. Most people do not know that that's there. I just wonder if these devices have some sort of futuristic or AI technology that can suck time into the system. Please give me your comments on this that I can answer to. Would that be a hell of a note? And it's a conundrum. It's a very confusing issue because, of course, if you're staring into a screen 5 hours a day, you lose all perception of everything else that's going around you. Just like when you're walking down the street with the cell phone in your face, you could walk right into a train and never realize it until you were 6 feet under. It's just eerie. See, talking about time. 22 minutes I've been talking. You got to be kidding me. That's bizarre. Lizette says, my dreams are more strange when I didn't watch TV before going to bed, like strange dreams about planes exploding before flying because of some strange new technology. Yeah, dreams, any kind of movie or any kind of information before I go to sleep usually triggers in my dreams. But you're saying they're more strange when you don't watch TV. That's interesting. It is like zombies walking and looking at their phone. And off topic, there is a lot of information coming out about the zombie apocalypse. There was the CDC page training for how to prepare for a zombie apocalypse, which got taken down. And there's more and more information coming out about what is a zombie, what it, you know, those spikes that are penetrating the blood brain barrier, causing microclots in the brain, in the frontal lobe of the brain. Oh, good Lord. Cynthia says, I saw that flicker in the scanners at the checkout. Yeah, you can see the flicker if you're looking at a computer screen and there's a TV in the background, you can see that you can usually see the flicker. Run a test. It's there, and it is, as I wrote about in Hacking the God Code, it is programmed into the technology of the television. Well, I can't believe it. And now it's 25 minutes. Madonna. Uh-oh, here comes that glare again. Ooh. I guess I'll end here, you guys. Let me just get rid of this glare. Oh, gosh. It feels like friends who took certain jabbers have been acting more zombie-like. Oh, yeah. It makes sense. Do we really want to get into this conversation? We have to be careful here what we say and write, okay? So I will dance around. It makes sense if this is affecting the physical being, that, and undoubtedly affecting the spiritual self, that it's also affecting the emotional body, and people are just freaking out. And then there's the growing fear. No matter how much people are convinced or digging into their posture that they did the right thing, every day there's more information that they didn't. And I have a lot of compassion. Even though I don't understand it, I have a lot of compassion for anyone who is coming to realize that they're a ticking time bomb. Poor people. So don't let that ever be you. Somebody said, what am I supposed to do with my family? I'm totally getting off the subject now, but whatever. I'm live, I'm free, and over 21. Somebody said, there's no point. There's always a point. There's always hope to reach someone. And if we give up that hope, or as some people are saying, I just can't be bothered with those people, why not? Be bothered, no matter what happens, even if it means, you know how many people have told me I'm no longer their friend for my beliefs? Let's see, what were the number of things that they didn't approve of in me? They're burning my books. The list is too far to go back. Certainly being pro-Trump didn't make me popular with people. Being anti-pronoun selection lost me some. Needless to say, my position about the Jabberwocky, do it anyway. You know, when I go to my pastures, my green pastures, I will go with my heart clean, my soul clear, that I didn't bow down to anything and I didn't hold back. And if that means people go away, I just recently, somebody who was a dear friend, you know, it blows me away when people just cut you out that you've had regular interaction with. They just cut you out. They don't even bother to say, you pissed me off because you did this. At least some of these people said, you know, I hate what you're doing, so I'm burning your books. I at least have respect for those people. But the ones who just drop you off, There was somebody, a man who was a very spiritual guy, wonderful connection on the Facebook. We even had Zoom calls together. And then one day I went, I haven't heard from him forever. And I wrote to him, said, hey, you unfriended me. Is that an accident? And he wrote back, he said, no, Patricia, I used to really love your position on and your wisdom, but lately I don't like the way that you're discussing the vid, and I don't like your posture, and I don't think you are in your heart. Okay. Don't let the door hit you in the ass, pal. For God's sakes. Sorry, I got off track, you guys. I don't want to give a sermon. Anyway, considering time is marching on and that time was the objective here, I have come to the conclusion, I'll wrap this up. I have come to the conclusion that it's both. Time still is warping, but my new hypothesis is I think that the network has been designed to suck time out of the third dimension. Does that sound weird to you? Yes, he must have been projecting seriously. You know, occasionally I get this and people say, I prefer when you talk about love and light, and when you start talking about politics and these things, it makes me feel like you're slipping. I go, well, if you feel like I'm slipping, then you need to go, because I'm going to talk about what the hell I want to talk about within the constraints of social media. And I don't need additional censorship. Thank you very much. So Diane says, I think you're spot on. So yeah, I'm chewing on this theory now that if, because we know that the technology is 100 years ahead of what they're letting us know they've got, right? Or something ridiculous like 50, 60. The military say 60 years ahead, but it's going to be more than that. And I'm just thinking about, is this whole network part of a system to extract time or to careen us into a 4D context where we are more manageable? You know, all bets are on here in this twilight zone of shifting dimensions and simulation, spirals of time, spirals of dimensions. Uh, it is a heady time to be alive. Very good point, Lynn, and welcome, Lynn. Lynn says, keeping us distracted by hijacking our time keeps us from being creative and creators. Yeah, I'll attest to that. I did so much yesterday that I haven't been able to get to. And the only difference was I refused to be on the computer. People are acting crazy. Ooh, I'll tell you that. I'm very blessed here because life is still very simple on my island. Simple folk, gentle people. And the other day I went out to a little Christmas fair. It was so charming. It was small, right? Because it's just a few, it's an underpopulated island. But it was innocent and handmade little things and laughing children. It was great. It was great to be out in normalcy. So anyway, I'd love to have this conversation continue. And maybe I'll do some videos on Beyond the Matrix. I'll get some experts on. We'll really talk about some quantum physicists talking about this. But I have a theory, and my theory is that it's not only about how we're addicted to the computer, it's about how it is magnetizing us into this vortex, and that very possibly, if it can magnetize us in, could it be mutating time? And could it be the role of technology all along, aside from being a control device, which we're finally figuring out, has been to serve at this point in evolution to drive us from 3 to 4D And I know a lot of people are talking about 5D, but we got to get through 4D first. I'm sorry if people don't agree. And these are the things that I'm chewing on at the moment. The things I want to find out about. I think that the network, which is the vehicle of AI, is far more insidious than we acknowledge. So if you can do it, try again. Oh, you've got horses, Diane. How blessed. Yeah, my dogs were like, she's playing with us. Oh my God. Yesterday, I was so much more aware of them. We were so much happier together. And I thought, wow, these poor dogs sit here and watch me plugged into this TV, computer, for a big part of the day. It's not fair. It's got to change. So give it a shot. And if you do this test, write down what you're doing every hour. At the top of the hour, where are you? Even a coffee break. And you look at it and go, I'm getting so much more done. And then, if possible, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to block out a part of the day where everything is unplugged again, phone included. If somebody needs to find me, they will have to wait until after 4. Yeah, they do know it, Ted. They do know. And Pepper's under the desk, and she's got a little face near mine, and it's like, please, please come back. It's really interesting. Thank you, Diane. Thanks for loving the book too. All right, so you won't be seeing me on my time from 12 to 4 for that would be Pepper. For the next few days. I think it's a really good practice to set time limits. And you know what else? Put on the alarm. Because if I'm right and we're really becoming so hypnotized that we just lose track of time, or whether we're being pulled into this bizarreness where time is being sucked out of the third dimension through the computer network. I mean, if I'm right about this, this is intense. Then set an alarm to knock you out of it. And what you'll also realize is your attention will start to be more on time and not wasting it, so that you won't need the alarm to knock you out of it. It's an interesting study, and it's a study of Homo sapiens, 3D, 4D shift, and questioning the time-space continuum. It's very exciting. So give it a shot, and thanks for listening to, for example, did I just not say it was 22 minutes? It is now 37. I'm convinced something's going on here that I just do not fully comprehend, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see. Oh, don't forget to watch my fascinating interview. It's up with Jimmy Blanchette, talking about the harmonics and the solfeggio frequencies of contact. He's doing pretty amazing work, and he's pretty new on the scene, so it's fresh, very fresh information. Here she is. She knows, where are you? She knows when the words or the energy, when I'm, hold on a minute. See those ears? Let me say the words and see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna go now. See? She's like, it's coming. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna say goodbye now. Oh, isn't she a doll? Here she comes, my Pepper. Thanks for tuning in, guys. My dogs are saying, I like the yesterday mom better than the today mom. Come back. So I'm going to go play. Okay. Oh, God. Take care, y'all. And I'll see you soon. Lots of love. And that's the end of the story. Ciao.